5-0, one of only 3 unbeaten teams in the NFL. They face the Falcons today, who have won 2 while losing 3. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Costas along with Tom Matty. A big emotional lift last week for the Falcons. Big win over the Giants. They'll need all that emotion today against Pittsburgh.
And maybe a little bit more. I think this is going to be a great ball game. Bartkowski came off a great game last week, and defensively, I think that they're the kind of team that last year set a record for the least amount of points being scored upon. So I think it's going to be a great offensive and defensive game.
Meantime, Pittsburgh, with that 5-0 record, off to their best start ever.
No question about it. Mr. Rooney says this is the best team he's had, but he says he wants to see the results at the end of the year.
Well, let's go to work.
All right.
Pittsburgh has won the toss, and waiting deep, Larry Anderson, number 30, standing just in front of the goal line, waiting for the kick from Fred Steinfurt of the Falcons. And there is Steinfurt, number 1. He has had some problems this year. He has had field goals blocked, having problems right away with the tee here. 44 degrees at game time. Football weather having arrived in Pittsburgh. Winds about 15 miles an hour. And now he's going to have it held for him. Started to say that he has had field goals blocked in each of the last 2 weeks, and they have led to opposition touchdowns. So Steinfurt has had his problems. He drives Anderson back to the goal line, out across the 15, and then pushed back to about the 13-yard line. So Pittsburgh will start with rather poor field position. They spot the ball at the 12 for the first play from scrimmage. The give is to Franco. Not too much, as he runs into the middle of the Atlanta front 4. Easterling went on the injured reserve list, so Pridemore could be a key man today. On second down, Harris carries again, and again they stop him after a very short gain. Mike Lewis and Jeff Merrow combining on the tackle. It'll be third down and about 6 yards to go from the 16. 3rd and 6. A minute and a half gone by in the first quarter. The Steelers are 5-0. The Falcons are 2-3 and hold everything as flags fly.
There's a huddle down there. The one thing that Atlanta does a lot of, and in talking to the coach, Lehman Bennett, last night, is they're going to blitz. They're going to put the pressure on Bradshaw. They're going to use a lot of zone coverages, so you can expect to see a lot of those linebackers coming from the inside, from the outside, and trying to put some pressure on that quarterback.
10 of them for touchdowns. He's had 5 intercepted. His line gives him time, as they have all year. He's got Stallworth apparently for the first down.
Just an absolutely great reception here. Stallworth, known for his jumping ability, really went up there and got it. You can see here from the ground level, Bradshaw setting up, looking at his receiver, lays it up there. Stallworth goes high, and he also gets wrapped up pretty well. But it's still a first down, Bob.
Rick Bias hit him, but not in time to stop the first down reception. Stallworth's 18th catch of the year, and you noticed all the time that Bradshaw had to throw. He's been sacked only 3 times this year. On first down, Rocky Blyer's first carry of the game. Stopped by free safety Tom Pridemore. Let's look at the blocking along the front for Pittsburgh.
You know, what makes a great back here, watch Rocky. He just follows that guard, turning the corner, sees the hole to the outside. That's when you put on your speed. You know, when I was playing halfback, the one thing I never tried to do was outrun that interference, because if you did, you're out there by yourself, and that's when you really get wrecked.
Atlanta has won just 5 of their last 28 road games. Contrasting statistic, Pittsburgh since 1972, 15-3 against NFC competition. Franco Harris for another first down, and again it's Pridemore on the tackle with help from Fulton Kuykendall, the left side linebacker. 7 minutes and 48 seconds to play in quarter number 1. Rocky Blyer ran smack into Jim Bailey and Mike Lewis.
You know,
Bradshaw threw for 189 yards last week against the Jets. The first time this year he has failed to throw for more than 200. And another completion. Benny Cunningham, his tight end, latches on to this one. Some of the fans don't approve of the extra attention the Atlanta defense paid to him.
Well, he stopped that forward progress just short of the first down.
Go with the 2 tight end offense. They give the ball, as you might expect, to Franco Harris, and he gets them their 3rd first down on the drive.
Watch Franco come there. Come straight up. There's the big block by Sam Davis. Franco breaks right off of him and gets the first down.
This drive began at the 12-yard line of the Steelers, but this is nothing new for them. They've scored 16 touchdowns this year, and 15 of the 16 have come on drives of 50 yards or more. From the 47, they pitch it back to Franco. He finds some daylight and bursts into Atlanta territory. Again, Tom Pridemore having a busy afternoon already at his free safety spot.
It's down last week. There's something going away from Chuck Noll's philosophy on football.
Franco got 8 on that play, bringing up 2nd down and 2, and he will try it again. And he appears to have yet another first down. Middle linebacker Robert Pennywell on the stop. 5 yards today to pass John Henry Johnson and move up another notch. He has not had a 100-yard game yet this season. 1st and 10 from the 42. Rocky Blyer. And they cut him down in a hurry. Pittsburgh has held on to the ball for more than 7 minutes since the opening kickoff. We're inside 8 minutes to play in the first quarter as Bradshaw throws. Wide open Benny Cunningham inside the 20-yard line.
Absolute perfect pass. But Cunningham is down. I think he might have hurt his knee. This is just absolutely a perfect pass. Bradshaw sets up. Look at the time and protection that he has there by the great offensive line. And the ball is perfectly laid out there, right in his hands. And that's where he gets the knee, right there.
Roland Lawrence hit him there. And when we come back, we'll... And the Steelers have controlled the ball since the opening kickoff. 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 19. Franco.
Big hole. The Atlanta defense is flowing so quickly that he's
over the 7,000-yard mark for his career. He got 6 on that play. 2nd and 4 from the 13-yard line. They'll try it again. Look at him change direction and spot the hole.
You can see that Atlanta has that pursuit going after him, but he keeps following those blockers. He sees the hole back to the inside, and he just cuts back in there, picks up some good yards. They did the same thing. They ate that clock up.
Unofficially, Franco with 8 carries for 36 yards so far. Rocky Blyer this time. And Blyer picks up 3 down to the 5, and there goes a flag.
I think we got a little piling on that. When he came in late, Franco was down. The backside pursuit came.
Personal foul, piling on. Number 54 on the defense, half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Fulton Kuykendall hit late. Here it is again.
He's coming right back inside. Rocky dives. Now here comes the late shot by Kuykendall right there, coming in late. They can't do that. That's what they're trying to rectify this year, is that late shots.
So it's another 1st and goal, this time from the 3. Rocky Blyer gets back to the original line of scrimmage and no more than that. Robert Pennywell on the stop.
Again, right coming out of the end zone here, you can see the man in motion going the other way. Harris goes up to the inside, gets a block. Rocky keeps his balance, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play by the Atlanta Falcons.
Fake to Franco. Bradshaw to the end zone. Over the head of Theo Bell, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and...
Because they've opened up their offense.
Swan and Stallworth, both wide receivers, are on the right side. 3rd and goal. And the quick flip incomplete. Intended for Stallworth, with Frank Reed, the strong safety, on the coverage.
Mr. Will calls this as a chip shot.
Mr. Will, however, executes his chip shots with a 9-iron. Jarella uses his soccer-style kick, and it's 3-0 Pittsburgh. Benny Cunningham's knee injury will keep him out for the rest of the day as they hand him some crutches, so you can see he's not fooling with regard to the extent of that injury. And Randy Grossman will move in his place, Tom.
Well, you know, you take a look at Randy Grossman. He's 6'1", 215, and you take a look at Benny Cunningham, and he's a big tight end. He's 6'5", 247, so he's got some big shoes to fill.
Roy Jarella's kickoff taken at the 5-yard line by Dennis Pearson. And Pearson out across the 25 before Theo Bell makes the tackle. and who has completed 51% of his passes, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, calls the signals for the Falcons' first play from scrimmage. Haskell Standback carries. Good yardage on the opening play. And Bartkowski's backs are Bubba Bean and Haskell Standback. Standback got 6 on the last play, 2nd and 4 from the 36. Bubba Bean carries.
Good drive by his leg. He got hit at the line of scrimmage and kept that momentum going by using his feet.
Bean got the first down at the 40-yard line with 3:45 to play in the first quarter. Standback going nowhere. Smack into the arms of Dwight White.
White.
Woo. Bartkowski keeps it on the ground. Standback picking his holes nicely. Picks up 9 yards to the 49 before Mel Blount cuts him down. Good. On 3rd and 1 from the 49. Standback for an Atlanta first down into Pittsburgh territory near the 45. Mike Wagner, the free safety, hit him first.
The offensive line did a great job firing out, giving him that hole to the inside on a trap play right there, and boom, they got the first down.
From the Pittsburgh 45. As we move inside 2 minutes to play in the first quarter, Bartkowski's first pass is complete. Jim Mitchell, his tight end, makes his 8th reception of the season.
You know, they're just starting to use Mitchell the last couple of weeks. Bartkowski is back in there. Last week he caught 4 balls. This guy is a real good, tough receiver. Had a chance to talk with him a little bit about last night.
James Wright, the rookie from TCU, replaces Mitchell, who hobbles off after picking up 7 on that catch. 2nd and 3 from the 38. Bubba Bean. Another first down.
And a flag on a play, and I think we have a holding against Atlanta.
Holding, offense, number 57, 2nd down.
Mr. Van Note got caught. Not supposed to get caught. And a good one. Promising one, I should say.
The penalty moves the ball back to the 48. It's 2nd down and 13 from there. Bubba Bean again. It'll be 3rd down and about 9 yards to go. Quarter this year. The Falcons have not scored a touchdown themselves in the first quarter this season. Bartkowski lobs it out to Bean, and he'll be considerably short. John Banaszak was right there as soon as Bean made the catch, and the Falcons will have to bring John James in for the punt.
One thing that they've had, period, in the last couple of years is generating any type of offense.
John James gets the kick away. Randy Rudishan backing up and letting it bounce, and it's going to work out very well for the Falcons. Just about nobody in the business does this any better than John James.
No question about it. It's like having a 12th man on that team out there. This guy is great.
They began at the 12 and drove all the way to the 3-yard line of Atlanta before settling for a Roy Jarrella field goal. They lead it 3-0. Rocky Blyer.
We got
only
a holding. Got a holding penalty. I think they might decline this.
Decline the penalty since they stopped Blyer after a gain of only 2.
Quick out. Perfect.
John Stallworth makes the catch. And Bradshaw will put it up on 3rd down from his own goal line. Over the middle, it's dropped by Randy Grossman. Right in his hands. Terry delivered it perfectly.
It was an absolute perfect pass. It's a post pattern to the inside. And he just dropped that ball, and when you drop them, you get up with your bad with yourself. Again, you'll see Rickman catching the ball right here. Good blocks up front. Sets it up, cuts back against the grain. Now watch him pick his holes. Breaks to the outside again. Breaks a tackle right there. Super run back.
A 37-yard punt, a 23-yard return. Haskell Standback on 1st down inside the 20 before Lauren Taves brings him down. It's the best offensive output by an Atlanta team since December of 1975. 2nd and 3, Bubba Bean.
I think he's got the first down. A good cut. Saw the hole was plugged to the inside and broke back to the outside.
From the 14-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Rickman wide left, Francis wide right, Standback carries.
scoring position.
Stanback got 3 on the last play at 2nd and 7 from the 11. Bubba Bean for a couple before John Banaszak stops him at the 9. It'll be 3rd down this year against the Steelers. 3rd and 5 from the 9. Witkowski under pressure from Jack Ham, and down he goes. Soccer coach there, hopefully helping him to get the ball away quickly and with a bit more height.
No good.
He gets this one away in time, but it hooks off wide to the right on it. Down at the 43.
Absolute perfect pattern. Here's Bradshaw setting up. Had the blitz on. It's a man-on-man coverage. He does a post pattern to the inside. And you don't like to see this man out on a one-on-one situation.
Bradshaw has been throwing more this year, Tom, on 1st down.
He sure has. That's one of the things that's going against the grain of Chuck Noll's philosophy, is that 1st down passing. Here's another 1st down pass.
Time to throw. Broken up. Intended for tight end Randy Grossman. Greg. 2nd and 10 from the 43. 11-11 to play in the 2nd quarter. Pittsburgh leads it 3-0.
No, I think Bradshaw might have an automatic going on right here.
Blyer setting up in a slot. Harris the only guy in the backfield, and Franco gets the ball and slips outside for good yardage.
Absolutely great move by Franco. Again, from the end zone, you'll be able to see the move that Franco makes on this. This is just an off-tackle play. Straight on blocking, looks to the inside, sets that block up from the outside there. That's why he has the room to move to the outside. Gets out of bounds, and there's no roughing after, which is great. I like to see that. Once you're out of bounds, let that man alone. It's a super cut by Franco on that one.
He got 9 on the play. It's 3rd and 1 from the 34-yard line. Ask him to get the 1st down, which he does.
They're eating that clock up again.
On their first drive, they held the ball for almost 10 minutes before Girella's field goal put them in front. Harris carries on 1st down. Halfway to his first 100-yard game of the season. To him again. Stopped to look for a hole and picked up 3 or 4. Again was out, and Wilson Faumuina, number 74, comes in along the front 4 for Atlanta. Rocky Blyer gets the 1st down. Fulton Kuykendall stopped him, but not in time. The 1st down statistic indicates the dominance that Pittsburgh has exerted in the area of ball control. Franco Harris down to the 8-yard line.
Another 1st down. Again, you can see the quick trap up to the inside. This is what I was talking about. Traps Bailey right there. Franco breaks back. Another great cutback against the grain. Down. Watch the trap block right here. Boom. Bailey goes outside the trap block, breaks back against the grain. Franco picks up a big 1st down inside the 10.
1st and goal from there. They were inside the 10 once before and did not score, but Rocky Blyer takes care of it this time. Blyer for the touchdown.
I'll tell you, what a drive. The whole flow is going the other way, and Rocky cut against the grain. Watch it right here from the end zone shot. Everybody's going to the right of your screen. He breaks back to the left. No one's there. It's a race for the corner. And you can smell that end zone.
It's 9-0, and Roy Girella comes in. Craig Colquitt will hold as Girella tries for the 10th point. With 7 minutes and 51 seconds, puts that unique mouth guard on as he waits for the kick from Roy Girella.
I couldn't talk with those things, especially when I played quarterback. I hated to wear them, but I also got all my teeth knocked out too.
But just as long as you had all the plays written on your wrist, you were okay, right? The Steelers went 80 yards in 9 plays. They had the ball for 4 minutes and 6 seconds before Blyer scored his second touchdown of the year to give them the 10-0 lead. George Franklin fields the punt, or the kickoff, I should say, and brings it back across the left. Stanback and Bean are the running backs on 1st and 10 from their own 32. Bubba Bean. Check it, it's Haskell Stanback. Stanback on the carry.
And we got a flag on the play, and it may be off. 1st and 5.
Offsides, defense, number 75, 1st down.
Mean Joe Green jumped off.
You know, you take a look at that front four. They were noted for their great pass rush before. I think they've matured, and they've come into a solid front four right now. And they've got these great linebackers behind them.
They've got 17 sacks to their credit, 3rd best in the NFL. Bubba Bean carries on 1st and 5, and he's close to an Atlanta 1st down. Donnie Shell, the strong safety, brought him down.
Again, you get to see right here. Let's watch Jack Lambert, number 58, as he flows with the play, coming down the line of scrimmage. Great lateral movement. Comes to the inside, comes in for the tackle in the end. That's the job of the middle linebacker, except sometimes he's supposed to get him in the backfield. He's a tough one.
Bean got the 1st down. The ball just outside the 44-yard line. Wojtkowski with time to throw, but he can't find a receiver, and now they close in on him, and Steve tucks the ball in and takes off. Gets a block and then goes down in an act of self-preservation at about the 50.
The guy that's in there that's old is Jeff Van Note, 10 years, but I don't call him that old.
Wojtkowski improvised for 7 yards on the last play. It's 2nd down and 3, and Stanback is short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and about 1.
And you have Jeff Van Note, the senior man with 10 years. This is a young, offensive, strong offensive line. Now let's see if they can get the 1st down for him.
2 tight end offense on 3rd and a long 1. Bubba Bean. Gonna be close.
I think he got it, but it is close.
They may want to measure Jack. You can wear pink shoes if you want to.
I wouldn't argue with him.
The Falcon drive is sustained. 1st down, fumble on the snap, and I think Pittsburgh has it. They do. Joe Green comes up with the ball as Jeff Van Note and Steve Bartkowski had some trouble on the exchange. With 5:01 to play in the 2nd quarter, it's Pittsburgh ball at their own 48. Terry Bradshaw goes back to work with a 10-0 lead. He has a 21-yard field goal from Roy Jarrella and a 9-yard touchdown run by Rocky Blyer. The fake to Blyer and another 1st down passing attempt by Bradshaw. Another completion. Lynn Swan coming back for the catch. Roland Lawrence on the tackle.
He had a lot of time to throw that ball, and Swan made a great adjustment. Again, you can see here, Bradshaw setting up, fakes a pass, 1st down passing play. A lot of time. Swan comes back for the ball. Gets the 1st down.
They picked up 12. It's 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 40. Bradshaw completing 60% for the year prior to this game, 60% so far in this game on 6 out of 10. And again on 1st down to the air, the ball squirts free.
It's a fumble.
The fans don't agree. Jim Bailey recovered the ball.
It's really a questionable call there because he looked like he was following through and it just slipped out of his hand. Here you'll be able to see it. Let's see what happens. He sets up again. You think that's not a throw?
Looked to me like a pass, but Jim Bailey pounced on it for Atlanta, and it's Falcon ball. In slow motion, the key here, Tom, was his arm moving forward.
I think I'm going to let the people be the judge. What do you think? I don't know. The officials are right there on top of it. It's a judgment call. And this is what makes football interesting.
At Three Rivers Stadium, there's little doubt about how the people here saw it. Atlanta ball at the Pittsburgh 49. They trail 10-0. Bubba Bean trying to take it outside, right into the arms of Lauren Taves, and down he goes after a gain of 2. Perhaps not as spectacular as he used to be now that he's reached 32 years of age, but more than adequate, I think you could say.
I'll take it. Look out!
L.C. Greenwood came piling through.
Boy, did he ever come through. You can see the charge inside by Greenwood, coming to the inside. Number 66, Warren Bryant, just missed him. They had a game on that time, and boy, it worked.
At the 40-yard line of Atlanta. That makes it 3rd down and 21. And they keep it on the ground, and it'll be 4th down and 21.
We also have a couple flags, one downfield and one at the line of scrimmage.
Randy Rudershan is the deep man, standing at his own 20-yard line. James meets it at the 30. Rudershan up to take it at about the 29, bouncing off a tackler and turning it into an excellent return out near the 40.
He caught that ball, got nailed, and bounced back about 3 yards and kept running. He did a super job on it.
2 minutes and 39 seconds to play in quarter number 2, 10-0 Pittsburgh.
16-yard run.
The last punt by John James, a relatively short one for him, 32 yards, returned 10 yards by Rudershan, out to the 39. Franco Harris with a 1st down carry for about 5 yards to the 40. They give him 6 yards on the carry as they spot it at the 45, 2nd down and 4. Delayed handoff to Rocky Blyer, but Atlanta is waiting for him. Jeff Merrow was one of those to hit him with help from linebacker Greg Briscoe.
Jim Thorpe.
3rd and 3 from the 46. Last 2 minutes of the first half. A first half dominated by the Steelers, who lead 10-0. Franco Harris, 1st down Pittsburgh.
That puts him up to about 80 yards right now. He picks up another 6 right there. Jets score another one. They're up 28-7 over Buffalo. 10:15 remaining in the 2nd quarter. 3rd quarter.
And there you saw Pennywell and Pridemore combining to bring Harris down at the 47-yard line of Atlanta.
You know, 3rd down conversions. They were 4 for 6. Now they're 5 for 7 on 3rd down conversions.
Bradshaw to the air. Randy Grossman, the tight end, latches onto this one. Down to the 31. It's a 16-yard pickup and another 1st down for Pittsburgh.
And a timeout. You know, the one thing that Grossman has is good hands, and when he dropped that ball and it went across the middle over there before, he was really mad at himself. You could see it. He tucks that ball away, protects it.
From the Atlanta 31, it's 1st and 10. 1:17 to play in the half. Franco. And a flag flies as Franco is brought down at the 26.
It's got to be a personal foul or something.
Looks like it will be against Atlanta.
I sure didn't see anybody come in late on that thing.
The officials did, and it cost the Falcons plenty.
15 yards. Let's hear what he has to say.
Personal foul, spearing, number 27 on the defense. 1st down.
Free safety Tom Pridemore came in there late apparently on Franco.
Wow, that hurts. Atlanta's got to stop before halftime here. Stay in this ball game.
Another 1st down.
Look out, blitz.
Bradshaw gets rid of the ball, intended for Stallworth in the end zone, incomplete.
Oh, we got another flag down.
Rick Bias was coming on a blitz from his right cornerback spot.
And he is charged with roughing the passer.
Terry Bradshaw playing today with a bruised knee he sustained last week, but playing hurt is nothing new for him. He's played with concussions, neck injuries, fractured wrists.
Again, you'll be able to see him coming in here, right here.
On the defense, number 27, first down.
Right at the end of the play, the halfback blitzing from the outside. They're trying to protect these quarterbacks. That's one of the things the officials trying to do this year. We've had so many injuries to quarterbacks. So you can expect those kind of calls if you're going to nail that quarterback.
And it's 1st and goal at the 6 with 1:06 to play in the first half. Impressive stats for Terry so far. And he's going to keep it after the fake to Blyer. Touchdown. Great fake to Rocky Blyer, and he takes it in himself from 6 yards out.
A gutty call. I'll tell you, it looked like there might even have been a mix-up, but it looks like what they call a 24 lag, we used to call it. There's a fake. I think it's a blown play. Bradshaw keeps it, though. Gets to that corner, bad leg and all. They say he's hurt. I don't know about that. It looked like Franco had a mix-up on that, Bob.
Mix-up or not, Bradshaw knew what to do with it. They went 61 yards in 6 plays, a quick drive that took just a minute and a half. And now Roy Girella, out of Colquitt's hole, tries to make it 17-0, which he does.
Guarantee you. Now, we got one right here. Let me tell you, don't count this Atlanta Falcon team out yet.
Girella's kick, bouncing to Franklin at the 5-yard line. George Franklin, whom they picked up on waivers from St. Louis just before the start of the season.
You see that Pittsburgh drive right there. They used 6 plays, 61 yards, and only used up 1:32 of time.
Coach, do you put the ball in the air and try and get something going in the last 52 seconds, or do you sit on it and regroup in the locker room?
I'd go after it just like he's going after it.
Well, here's your answer. Bartkowski fires, and it's batted down. Dwight White knocks it away.
He almost ate that. Bartkowski's got plenty of time right here. He's got good protection by the offensive line. You can see Dwight White coming back to the inside right here, makes the jump, knocks the ball down. There's a receiver wide open who he was throwing to right up the top of your screen.
Dwight White, at 29 years of age, the youngest member of the original steel curtain front four for Pittsburgh.
6'4", 255. He looks a lot bigger than that to me, I'll tell you.
47 seconds to play. 2nd and 10 from the 34. Bartkowski throws it out of the backfield to Bubba Bean. Bean gets 8 or 9 on the play before Jack Lambert makes the tackle. Lehman Bennett, whom you got to look at on the Atlanta sideline, has some friends in the Pittsburgh area, none of them on the Steeler bench, but in this area he was an assistant coach under Dave Hart at Pittsburgh in the mid-60s. Bubba Bean got the first down to midfield, and Atlanta immediately stops the clock with 32 seconds to play. Fans at Three Rivers Stadium, good thing she brought the heavy coat.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a little chilly out here. It's clouding up, and they're calling for snow flurries.
Ooh, let us get out of town first. Bartkowski back. Time to throw, off his hands and intercepted. Mel Blount picks it off. His 36th career interception.
Fantastic recovery by Blount. Back at it. It was thrown a little bit behind it, but you still, when you get your hands on that ball, you've got to catch it. Here you can see Steve setting up to the inside. Good protection. A lot of time. Back's crossing, a ball behind him, hits on the shoulder pads. Watch Mel come up, make a diving catch, and catches it.
Off the shoulder of Bubba Bean. And Blount gives Pittsburgh the ball back at their own 43. Now let's see what they try and do. A couple of quick passes. They could be in field goal range for Girella with 23 seconds left.
He's automatic in at the line of scrimmage right now.
Something went wrong.
Nobody caught it.
I guess that has to go as a sack, and if so, it's only the 4th time.
Between the fourth. Atlanta has got to come back, and they've got to do it right now on this kickoff.
Dennis Pearson is the deep man standing at the 5, waiting for Roy Girella's boot. And the second half is underway. George Franklin is the man who winds up taking it across the 20 to the 23. Down he goes.
At the halftime statistics, you could take a look at total yardage. Look at that, 208 to 59. Possession time, 17:56 to 12:04. Those are the two key stats.
And -7 yards passing for Bartkowski and Atlanta. He gets this one away before he's dumped, and Bubba Bean makes the catch. Out to
passing. Here he is, faking the play up to the inside. A good offensive line protection. Stands in the pocket, steps outside again, and gets rid of this ball just as he's hit the Bubba Bean. Picks up 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 5.
Dennis Pearson is wide right. Wallace Francis is wide to the left. Bean and Stanback the running backs, and Haskell Stanback tries to turn the corner. Something which is not especially easy to do against this Pittsburgh defense, as good as their linebackers are. Lawrence Haves was there for the tackle.
Cunningham is going to be out for 6 weeks. He's got a partial tear of the ligament, which is on the play that we saw there. You could see his left leg go right underneath as he was tackled, and it's, you know, those are the kind of injuries you don't like to see.
So Benny Cunningham, who was leading all tight ends in the NFL in average yards per catch, is injured early in the first quarter here after catching his 2nd pass of this game, and apparently he's going to be out for a good portion of the year.
Well, not only that, but the thing is this, is that, you know, here was a big man. You know, he's 6'4", I think, 6'5", 247 pounds. It was like having another offensive tackle on there for your running game. So I know that Rocky Bleier and Franco Harris are going to miss this guy.
Holding offense, number 7.
You know, my boys down in Baltimore jumped out there out of a 7-3 lead, and Burt Jones did not start. Troop is starting today, so we expect to see, at least I do, I expect to see Burt Jones next week for Baltimore playing. He's coming off that bad shoulder injury.
Dave Scott was holding on the play. It's 2nd and 15 from the 18-yard line. They keep it on the ground. Bubba Bean.
Let's take a look at on the line of scrimmage where Green was coming down here. A great trap block. Inside, outside. Halfback picks him up. Bubba Bean makes a cut to the outside, cuts inside, picks up about 6 or 7 yards on the play.
Haskell Stanback goes out on this 3rd down play, replaced by rookie Ricky Patton. He's closest to you on your screen, number 33. Bartkowski throws to Patton. And he is way short of the 1st down as Jack Ham stops him, but a late hit is going to allow Atlanta to keep the ball.
Jack made a great play as a linebacker on it, staying with the back, staying with him, has the quickness to make the tackle, but then they came in late on the tackle after he had him down. This is a real break for Atlanta right now. It gives them 1st down position. Boy, that seems like an awful long 15 yards.
Personal foul, late hit on the defense, number 76, 1st down.
Here it is again.
Again, you'll be able to get to see Bartkowski setting up the halfback coming across the middle. Linebacker coverage on him. Jack is right out there. He tries to get away from him. But there's the late hit right there.
White hitting late. It's 1st and 10 from the 45 of Atlanta. Haskell Stanback carries for a couple. Both wide receivers on the left side. As Bartkowski drops back on 2nd down. And down he goes, another sack. Kelsey Greenwood and Dwight White were there.
Falcons is Wallace Francis, and we have an ISO camera on him right here. Watch how open he gets on this play. Please throw me the ball. He's down there wide open. And the thing about
3rd and 14 from the 41. 12:20 to play, 3rd quarter. And here they come again. Bartkowski dodges one bullet and completes the pass. Billy Rickman makes the catch for a 1st down at the Pittsburgh 40.
This back there, great pressure. He's being tackled and still gets rid of the ball. Here's Billy coming down to the inside. You're allowed to hit him 1 time for that 5 yards. That's it. He comes back, and it's a perfectly thrown ball. And he has the 1st down.
Billy Rickman, a second-year man from Louisiana Tech, played behind Roger Carr in college as a freshman, behind Pat Tilley, now at the St. Louis Cardinals as a sophomore and junior. Finally became a starter as a senior and led the nation in receptions with 77 catches. Bubba Bean for about 5 to the 35.
Atlanta has got it going for them. Now if they can score on this drive, they're back in the ball game.
Haskell stand back, put down by Lawrence Hayes. We talk until a controversial call bailed him out.
Look for the blitz. Everybody's up close.
Bartkowski unloads, and it's dropped by Bubba Bean.
Again, you can see the tackle-tackle game, tackle-end games to the inside. Watch the defensive lineman. Break, one goes inside, one goes outside. Ball's perfectly thrown to the outside. This is no fault of the quarterback. That's what you call a DB, and Bubba knows it.
Averaged 38 yards on his 2 punts. Rudishan standing back around his own 10. Comes up to grab it. And doesn't get very far. Mike Esposito makes the tackle on him.
That's what it's all about right there, those Super Bowls.
They spot the ball at the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 Pittsburgh from there. And Sidney Thornton carries on first down. 2nd and 9, and they pitch it back to Blyer. And Blyer running well. A loose football, and it squirts out of bounds. It's been that kind of afternoon for the Falcons. They had a crack at the recovery and couldn't come up with it.
Boy, I'll tell you one. Look at the bouncing ball on this one. Here's Rocky with a quick pitch to the outside. Thornton leading to the outside. Blyer cutting up, making a good move. Jumps over the top, and as he jumps over, the ball pops out. Now here's a chance where you have to be able to get that ball. And it squirts right out. And whoever had possession of the ball last, it reverts back to that team. And Pittsburgh had it.
Robert Pennywell made a dive for it, but couldn't hold on. 1st and 10 from the 35 for Pittsburgh. Bradshaw delivers and Thornton catches. Out to the 44, a gain of 9.
From the end zone again here, you'll see Bradshaw setting up. Throwing right to the outside, hitting the big tight end right there.
2nd down, 1 yard to go. Here's they keep it on the ground. Rocky Blyer gets the first down.
Fumble
moves
again.
into Atlanta territory before losing the ball. And this time the Falcons make sure that they come up with it.
2 fumbles in a row. That's not like Rocky. But you know, we're talking about Harris. He's having trouble with his left leg. And he's got an old Charlie horse he's bothering him. Here's Rocky right here. Breaking back in. You can see the tackle coming in. The ball popping out. And it's Atlanta's ball when we come back.
Frank Reed made the recovery. The team has turned the ball over twice, and Atlanta is yet to capitalize. Hopefully they will now. They have the ball just shy of midfield. And still plenty of time left. 8:26 to play in the 3rd quarter. Bartkowski with a quick drop and throw to the sideline. Incomplete, intended for his tight end, Jim Mitchell.
Got 5 defensive backs in there right now, so they're expecting a passing situation. Let's see if Bart can come up with a screen or a draw on this.
Straight back to pass. And it's caught by Mitchell. Tony Dungy, number 21, went after the ball and didn't get it. They need a yard if they want to keep this drive going. It's 3rd and 1. Stand back for the first down. Jack. Clock is moving with 7:15 to play in the quarter. 1st and 10 from the 41. Haskell stand back carries and gets maybe a yard before slipping down. 2nd and 9 from the 40. Bartkowski rolling left and throwing over the head of his intended receiver, and Mel Blount almost made a leaping interception. Bartkowski has time to throw, and his pass is caught by Rickman. It's a Billy Rickman for the first down at the 19.
Steve Bartkowski setting up on this. The composure of a veteran quarterback right here. Hangs in the pocket, lets that ball fly. Rickman cuts back into the inside. It's just a beautiful throw and a catch, and Rickman gets the first down and keeps his drive going. Past week, he's really been setting up on that right foot and following through and throwing the ball.
21 yards on that last play for a first down at the 19. Bubba Bean carries across the 15, a gain of 5. Jack Ham on the tackle with help from L.C. Greenwood. Rickman on the left side. Wallace Francis is wide to the right, and Haskell Standback carries on second down.
Fumble.
Let's see who comes up with this one. Atlanta's going to keep it.
Woo! Standback's not doing bad running.
It's third and a long 2. Bubba Bean trying to take it outside. He doesn't get there. White hit him first.
That's why they're 5-0, brother. Woo!
And Walter Barr is the soccer coach at Penn State. He has been working with Steinfurt, but apparently it isn't doing much good, as that one missed by about half a block.
I'll tell you one thing, they're having their problems.
But his accuracy is suffering.
Whatever it is, he's doing it wrong.
And Pittsburgh maintains their 17-0 lead as they take the ball back at their own 20-yard line, and Franco Harris returns to the lineup and battles for about 5 yards.
With a hole. Bradshaw hands off, follows his blockers. Look at the cut that he makes again. Right back against the grain, breaks a tackle right there. Great leg drive.
Second and 5 with exactly 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Franco is on his way to his first 100-yard game of the season. Rocky Bleier. Couple of yards before he's tripped up. Second down and check it, third down and 2. From the 28-yard line. And Terry's going to throw for it. And he's got it to John Stallworth, and Stallworth has some daylight. He may go all the way. One man to beat. Down near the 10, near the 5, and to the 3-yard line before Roland Lawrence drags him down.
Big play. Bradshaw just got that ball off. You can see it right here. He's scrambling around. Linebacker, all he had to do was turn around and catch it. Breaks the tackle there. Stallworth's on his way. Cuts back. Great speed. Breaks another tackle. Watch this right here. Breaks the tackle. 2 guys have a shot at him. Roland Lawrence comes around. Brings him on down. Tries to strip him with a football, but he does it. They're on the 2-yard line and knocking again. This could put the ball game out of sight right here. 70 yards.
As he broke the tackle by linebacker Greg Brazina. Franco. It'll be second and goal. Fulton Kuykendall. Some of the Falcons think he was stopped short, but they say it's 6 points.
There is a flag.
It's against Atlanta, though, Tommy.
Yep. 6 points it is.
It's 23-0 Pittsburgh, and here it is again.
Quick trap to the inside. Rocky keeps his balance, keeps his legs driving, and goes in. Any part of that ball gets across that goal line, it's 6 points.
Bleier's second touchdown of this game and his third of the year. And Roy Girella comes back on to attempt the 24th point. The Steelers went 80 yards in 5 plays. It took 2 minutes and 14 seconds, and 70 of those 80 yards covered on the pass from Bradshaw to John Stallworth, which carried all the way to the 2-yard line. Girella's kick is perfect. With Dennis Pearson is the middleman waiting for the kickoff from Roy Girella. He takes it at the 6. 25, 30 to about the 32-yard line before he stopped. series for 3-year-olds and up. And the world's strongest men will also be part of that program. The second part of this year's competition, the Steel Bar Bend. That's next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Trailing 24-0, Bartkowski wants to throw on first down, but the Pittsburgh defense has other ideas, and Mean Joe Green gets the sack. Banaszak goes out, and Tony Dungy goes in. On second down and 17 from the 26. Haskell Stanback on the carry. Maybe 4 yards to the 30 before L.C. Greenwood makes the stop. And then Blyer scores. So instead of 17-3 at least, or maybe 17-7, it's 24-0. Bartkowski throws on third down, and Billy Rickman has another catch. His team may be trailing, but Rickman has played an outstanding game.
No question. He's going down there, hooking up inside the zone. Here he is setting up on the pass play again. Third down, long yardage. Hanging right in there. Throws off that foot. Perfect pass play. Right to the inside, and Billy gets the first down for him. Billy, you ain't going to go nowhere with 5 of them on you, brother. He's having a good day.
They got 22 yards on that play to the Pittsburgh 48 for the first down. Sideline toss. Mitchell drops it as he's hit by Donnie Shell. Wallace Francis goes out wide right. Dennis Pearson wide left. Stanback and Mean remain in the backfield. And on second and 10, Joe Green is after him. Bartkowski gets it away.
Oh, just
was it caught
beautiful.
in bounds?
Yes,
it was. Wallace Francis makes the catch.
Boy, here he is again. Here's Wallace Francis going down, breaking to the outside. Gives a move to the inside, comes back to the sideline, and this is an absolutely perfect throw. 2 men right on top of him. Steve Bartkowski really drills that ball in there.
Falcons had just signed Alfred Jenkins and John Gilliam. Now Francis is getting a chance, and he's their top receiver. Bubba Bean on first down.
Good yardage.
Some hard feelings out there between Jack Lambert and one of the Falcons, Dave Scott.
I'm surprised a flag wasn't thrown on that.
Joe Green acting as a peacemaker. I think some members of the Denver Broncos would be surprised to hear about that.
No question about that.
13:40 left in the game. Both wide receivers to the right side. Pearson outside of Francis. And something is wrong here. Bartkowski realizes it and elects to use a timeout. From the Pittsburgh 28. Steve has time to throw, and it is intercepted by Lauren Taves. That ends the Atlanta drive, and Taves brings the ball back to the 30. So again, Atlanta moves into Pittsburgh territory only to be frustrated. Taves comes up with Pittsburgh's second interception of the game. Mel Blount had the earlier one. Left in the game, and Pittsburgh has it back at their own 30. That's Sidney Thornton carrying the ball on first down. 5 or 6 yards before he's shoved out. Second quarter in Kansas City. Tampa Bay and the Chiefs are tied at 3 apiece. Thornton in motion, pitch back to Franco Harris, who's closing in on 100 yards. Can't really turn the corner, a gain of only a couple at most.
Period.
Tops among active players, of course, is O.J. Simpson. Third down and 3 from the 37. Bradshaw's got Stallworth. Stallworth knocked out a good first down play. I'm sure it doesn't concern him very much, but Bradshaw has not thrown a touchdown pass today. And he has thrown at least one in every game so far this year. Plenty of completions for him, though, and this one is caught by Lynn Swann.
And I think we got roughing the passer on this one here. Bradshaw really got nailed right after the ball was thrown. So they'll probably add another 15 on top of it.
Here it is again.
You can see Bradshaw setting up here. He just gets rid of this ball, and as he gets rid of it, he is nailed. That's a perfect throw, and they do call roughing the passer.
Don Wedge will let us know exactly who the guilty party is.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense, number 74. We tack on the 15 yards. First down.
It's our friend Wilson Faumwina. 11 out of 15 for 209. That is what you call some efficient work by Terry Bradshaw. Make it 12 out of 16 as Stallworth skips out of bounds with that reception.
Just they had the blitz on that time, and they couldn't put the pressure on him quick enough, and the ball is thrown perfectly to the sidelines.
Big day for John Stallworth. That's his 5th catch.
No question about it. Backs are staying in on protection. The blitz is on, picks up the linebacker. Perfect sideline pattern, gives him the move to the inside, breaks back to the outside. Stallworth just runs right out of bounds. Now talking about Stallworth, he's 5 receptions for 103 yards.
12:52 left in the game. Sidney Thornton carries. And he battles for about 4 yards on a play that very well could have been stopped for a loss.
You can see here, Thornton coming across, Franco Harris leading it. Thornton almost gets caught in the backfield. Makes a cut back to the inside. Keeps those legs driving and picks up about 4 yards on the play. Great camera coverage.
11. Stallworth wide left. Swan is wide right. Bradshaw making sure everybody is set. And dropping to throw. For the end zone, incomplete.
You know, here comes a 3rd down situation, and the thing about Pittsburgh, they've been so effective today. They're 7 for 9 on 3rd down conversions.
Exactly 12 minutes showing on the 4th quarter clock as Bradshaw drops back. Over the middle, touchdown. Will they rule it incomplete?
No. Call the touchdown. All he has to do is get through that imaginary plane right there, and he has the ball. Here's Bradshaw setting up. Ball is perfectly thrown to the inside. He's in the air. Boom. He gets nailed. The ball pops out. He's had some real close calls. Let's see what happens.
John Stallworth on the catch, which would be his 6th reception of this ball game, and his 3rd touchdown catch of the year, but the officials want to talk about it. This is reminiscent of the famous phantom catch by Mel Gray of the Cardinals in the end zone against Washington a few years ago, and they will let it stand, a touchdown, Bradshaw's 11th touchdown pass of the season.
Wow. These officials have had a busy day. They've had some real hairy calls, Bob.
It is 30-0. As Bradshaw adds one more touchdown pass to that league-leading figure. Now up to 11. And Roy Girella, who has had a busy afternoon, will try for the 31st point. After Girella kicks this, we will have an opportunity at some point to take another look at Stallworth's catch. Very touchy call for the officials. Bradshaw 13 for 18 today for 231 yards and a touchdown. Girella's kick is good. Chuck Noll has to be happy with this offensive performance. The latest drive, 70 yards in 7 plays in about a minute and a half. And after the kickoff, we'll have another look at the controversial play which ended that drive. The touchdown catch by John Stallworth. Dennis Pearson grabs Girella's short kick and tries to take it outside. Battles almost to the 40-yard line before Randy Rudershan knocks him out.
Here's the play again right now. You can see as Bradshaw sets up. The ball is thrown perfectly right in there. He catches the ball, and as he comes in, he breaks that plane, and as long as he has control, it's a freebie. Now, he was in midair, and that ball popped out just when he hit the bottom.
George Allen still has nightmares about that Mel Gray catch back in 1975 that cost him a game against the Cardinals. Bartkowski wants everything on this deep throw for Pearson, and it's broken up. Mel Blount was there along with Donnie Shell.
31 seconds left in the second period.
2nd and 10 from the Atlanta 39. Bartkowski fires, and he's got a man wide open. It's Wallace Francis. And Francis is in Pittsburgh territory at about the 44.
Wallace on the ISO camera. Watch him come down. Makes a driving move to the outside. The zone defense comes right around the back, catches the ball. Watch him get hit here and bounce back. He goes about 3 or 4 yards, keeps his feet, and has enough for the first down. Bartkowski, I'm really serious, is throwing the ball super today. He's really looking good. He can't get any points on the scoreboard, but the kid is really throwing the ball well.
We still have 10 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. Pittsburgh leads it 31-0. His line gives him time to throw, and Bartkowski's pass is broken up. Mike Wagner reaching in and knocking it away.
Woo! 2 more from the...
Bartkowski was trying to get it to, and watch the coverage by Wagner.
Wagner hits him in that 5-yard area. Just comes back to the inside. It's a great defensive play. Good coverage by Pittsburgh.
2nd and 10 from the 44. Off the hands of Francis on that play. And Johnson, who knocked it loose.
Here again, Francis is going out. He's doing a deep drive pattern. Comes back up, hooks up in front of the men, goes up for the ball. But watch him get hit right in the underneath the legs here and gets taken away from him. That's good, tough defense.
The rookie, Ron Johnson.
That's the key to success to any team. Utilization of the draft. Finding the right players to fit the needs that are essential to make you a winning ball club.
And on 3rd down, Bartkowski's pass is broken up again, or did it land in the arms of the receiver? Coming out of the pack with the ball is Wagner, but it will not be Pittsburgh ball. There's a flag on the play.
I think we may have defensive interference.
The receiver had that ball fall right into his arms while he was lying flat on his back.
I had that happen to me one time. There was a middle linebacker by the name of Willie Lanier who came down and hit me in the middle of the back. The ball popped straight up in the air, and I'm laying on the ground, and it falls right back in my hand.
Defense, number 21, 1st down.
Here again, and the ball's right up in the air. Watch where it lands, right in his hands, and the defensive back comes up and takes it away from him.
Tight end James Wright made the catch, flat on his back. And it's a 1st down at the 29-yard line.
It's picking and grinning.
After the timeout, it is 1st and 10 Atlanta at the 29 of Pittsburgh. Bartkowski to the sideline, turned Wallace Francis around, incomplete.
Hey, offensive line, there's a lot of rebuilding. Eddie LeBaron, the general manager, I think, has done a great job, and here we go.
Rookie Ricky Patton on the carry.
Again, you'll be able to see Ricky Patton coming right across. Just a sweep play. Full back. Gets the block right there. Just enough. Patton cuts up back up to the inside, and now it's a race for the corner. Gets about 12, 13 yards. Picks up a 1st down. He's got a great quickness coming out of that back there.
He picked up 14 on the carry. It's an Atlanta 1st down, and this is as deep as they have been in Pittsburgh territory. Bartkowski for the end zone, incomplete, but a flag. It'll be pass interference against the Steelers, and it will be 1st and goal for Atlanta.
And Lambert isn't too happy about that. They'd like to have a shutout today. But it's a 1st down on the 1 down there.
Pass interference. Defense, number 47. 1st down on the 1-yard line.
Mel Blount guilty of interference. 1st and goal from the 1.
Here it is right here. Watch Blount coming in over the top of him. Got that arm around him the outside. A good call by the official. Going to get Atlanta on the board yet.
9:26 to play in the game. the Falcons knocking on the door harder than they have at any time so far. Bubba Bean won't get there.
And we have a flag on it, and I think Pittsburgh's offside, lined up.
Well, the most it can cost them is half a yard.
But they get the down over again. Now they get 4 more chances.
And the chant of defense goes up at Three Rivers Stadium. These fans want the shutout too.
Defense, number 31, first down.
Shell jumped offside.
You can see the defense really digging up in here. The back coming up, Lambert right there. They're all over it.
First and goal again from inside the 1. Ricky Patton. The rookie fumbles as he's hit. Bartkowski goes after it, doesn't get it. And let's see who comes out of the pack with it. It is still Atlanta ball.
I don't know how. Wow. Talking about mistakes that they're making.
The rookie, Mike Ken, number 78, their #1 draft choice out of Michigan, recovered the ball, so Atlanta keeps it.
Here's Patton coming right in, and he gets nailed right as he gets the ball. Coming down the line of scrimmage, the ball pops loose. Bartkowski goes after it. Who knows who has it? They're fighting with it right now.
The ball is moved back outside the 1-yard line. Second and goal from there. Bubba Bean fumbles. And this time the Steelers do have it. Oh, will Lehman Bennett and the rest of his team be happy to get on the plane and leave Pittsburgh tonight?
I'll tell you, not only is it cold and chilly up here, but boy, I'll tell you, they're making the mistakes. The ball never gets back in there. Bubba Bean loses the fumble. Pittsburgh comes up with a recovery and stops a scoring threat.
Gary Dunn made the recovery for the Steelers. They had first and goal from half a yard out and couldn't take it in.
That's got to be discouraging.
Looks like John Banaszak, who is down on the field and shaken up after that last play. Well, Pittsburgh maintains their 31-0 lead as you look at another very frustrating play for Bubba Bean and Atlanta.
And that's when he hurt his knee, but Chuck Noll feels that he does not want to give a chance to another ball club to come back, and it's happened to him before, so he keeps his first stringers in there a long time.
Franco Harris on a first down play from the 4, and Franco finds daylight, an 11-yard run to the 15.
That puts him over the 100-yard mark. Here again, you can see Franco picking his hole. He's going to the left. Sees nothing there. Cuts back to the right side. Breaks a tackle. And now he's had 20 carries today for 104 yards. Great running by Franco. First 100-yard game this season.
And he needs 22 more yards to go past John Henry Johnson on the all-time list.
I tell you, he's got a lot of time left in this ball game. That's his 29th game for 100 yards.
And as we mentioned earlier, among active NFL players, only O.J. Simpson has more. The all-time record held by Jimmy Brown, just phenomenal. 58 100-yard games. And he only played 9 years.
That's a lot of football games.
Sidney Thornton takes this handoff.
Oh, boy.
And Thornton has a first down out to the 25.
Great throw.
So John Henry Johnson is safe for at least one more week. But next week, that mark will fall.
I think so. I think so. He's coming out of that game nice and healthy. He'll be ready next week.
Sidney Thornton gets the call and only a yard before he's spun down. Franco is replaced in the backfield by Alvin Maxson, number 28. Kruzak at quarterback now for Pittsburgh. Missed most of last year with a shoulder separation.
Humphrey after this play.
Rod retired a couple of weeks ago. He's been replaced very capably by Jeff Yates.
He retired, and he was one of the best that they've ever had down in Atlanta as far as defensive ends. But I guess a ball player knows when it's time to retire, and he knew when it was time to retire. me continue on that thought a little bit, Bob, on that. You know, Claude, athletes probably know a little bit more that sometimes when, you know, when they lose that edge. And he went to training camp this year figuring that he'd get his momentum back and he'd have that old spark to get fired up for training camp and the season to start and everything. And it just doesn't come back. Right now, they've got the blitz on, coming from the inside, the outside. There's Jeff right there putting the pressure on him. He comes in for the final kill on the quarterback.
So Craig Colquitt will have to punt. 4 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the game. Billy Rickman is the deep man standing at midfield. Again, Atlanta apparently will have good field position. But so far, they've been unable to take it in. They have the big rush on, but Colquitt gets it away, and Rickman signals for a fair catch, which he makes at the Pittsburgh 47. Steve Bartkowski remains in for Atlanta, goes to the sideline, and it's off the hand of Wallace Francis. On most of these stations, you're going to see either San Francisco at Los Angeles or the Giants at Dallas. That's on most of these CBS stations following this game. Bartkowski dropping on second down. Looking up again. Tony Dungy, who has intercepted 3 passes this year, wanted another one as he made a dive down. He wants his tight end, James Wright, to shift over on the left side. Both wide receivers are off to the right. And again, Bartkowski has time to throw, and he completes it, and it's dropped. Oh. Wallace Francis had it in his hands, and he dropped it.
Good golly. For his hands.
Thought it was a nice story anyway. 4th and 10.
Blitz is on.
He gets it away complete. And depending upon where they spot it, Pearson will have the first down.
I think he's got it there. There it is.
Yeah, it is an Atlanta first down. Here it is from the end zone.
Bartkowski setting up again. They have the blitz on. Pittsburgh has a blitz. He rolls out to the right side, sets up, plants, throws that ball right in there. Pearson comes back, has enough for the first down.
Dennis Pearson, the rookie from San Diego State. They spot the ball at the Pittsburgh 34 with 3.5 minutes to play. Steve fires again and completes his pass again. Billy Rickman, who's having an outstanding afternoon, comes back to make his 5th.
Sets up, rolls to the right, plants that right foot, drills that ball in. You can see the 2 linebackers. The ball went right between them. It's a great throw. Rickman has 4 receptions now for 80 yards. I thought he had more than that.
I thought he had 5, but we won't argue over one catch. I'm sure Rickman would prefer my version. Ricky Patton carries to a bite. Rickman wide to the left. Mike Esposito is in the backfield now, along with Ricky Patton. And Bartkowski fires for the end zone for an Atlanta touchdown. Wallace Francis makes the grab over Ron Johnson. So it took them almost 58 minutes, but the Falcons are on the board.
They finally got on the board, and it was a great adjustment by Wallace Francis on that. He was going to the corner, looked back, saw where the ball was coming from. Bartkowski throws it right out. Francis makes the recovery, comes back up, goes up for the ball, and gets 6 points. Here it is again, right from the end zone. Rolling a little bit to his right, sets up, throws that ball perfectly.
And for Wallace Francis, his 2nd touchdown catch of the season, Fred Steinford kicks the extra point. The Falcons went 46 yards and 7. The officials say Falcon ball.
Well, I'll be darned.
Ernie Jackson, I believe, number 30, is the man who picked it up, Tom. Let's look at it again.
Let's see what happens. Does it hit anybody? No, it doesn't hit anybody, and it's a great onside kick.
2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining.
Atlanta has the ball back at the 50-yard line. They went 46 the last time they had. Bartkowski to throw again, and he completes it again. Wallace Francis, who caught the touchdown pass a moment.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Bob. I think he came into Atlanta as the golden, fair-haired boy who was supposed to have all the answers for him. And you find out that when you come into this league, it's a whole different story. And I know that he has found out that it is. It's a tough, you know, the NFL is tough. It's not easy. He's got to be able to get out there, get that experience, get his confidence, and the players' confidence, and the fans' confidence behind him also.
Throws back across the middle to Mike Esposito. And the Boston College product makes the catch, but it's only 2nd down and 7. Esposito catches another one, stops the clock as he skips. And Bartkowski throws long over everybody, incomplete. 4th down coming up for the...
Like Atlanta has been plagued. Everything seems to be going wrong in that town right now.
Baltimore's won just once, and the Cardinals haven't won at all. And Jack Lambert introduces himself to Steve Bartkowski.
On a 4th down situation, again, you'll see right here, put the pressure on the young quarterback. 4-4 inside blitz. It looks like both linebackers coming. Lambert comes free, gets Bartkowski in the backfield for a big loss.
Sidney Thornton on the carry.
Momentum going for him. Bradshaw's having a great year. You got Franco having a good year. They're healthy. That's the key to it.
At 6-0, they number Buffalo, Seattle, Cincinnati, Cleveland, the Jets, and now Atlanta among their victims. A loose football, some final excitement as the last few seconds tick away. The clock is stopped with 4 seconds to go, and guess who has the football?
Atlanta! All right.
Alvin Maxson coughs it up, and the Falcons have one more play coming to them. Well, what is it they say about teams that play on Monday night?
Not you, huh? How do you feel about this one?
Well, I think we've, one thing I said when the season started, we're not a good football team now, but if we can win, I think we'll continue to improve and eventually be a great football team by the end of the season. And right now, I would say I've made a pretty good estimate of our football team.
Not too bad. How's your leg? I know you got banged up in the last quarter of the game, in the last 2 minutes of the game last week. It didn't seem like it was bothering you too much.
Well, you know, there's a miracle drug called adrenaline, and when it starts pumping, you forget about your injuries, and that's what happened today. It's more of a nerve damage than anything else, and the leg, you know, it feels pretty good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because, boy, you were throwing the ball right on the button. You mixed your plays well. You did a lot of throwing on 1st down. Is that something new that you're trying to do this year? I know that Chuck Noll's philosophy hasn't been too much thrown on 1st down, but I like to see it.
Well, what happened, Tom, is that a lot of teams are blitzing us, and a lot of teams are bringing people up in support of the run, and we've had a hard time running the football, so we've had success in play-action passes, going in behind them with our backs and coming in behind with our receivers.
Well, listen, thank you very, very much for coming over the sideline and taking your time, and we really appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the season.
Okay, Tom, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks to Terry Bradshaw, and our thanks to you, Tom Matty. From Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, once again, the final score. The Steelers going 6-0 on the season, beat Atlanta as the Falcons...
Yesterday's NFL highlights footage provided by NFL Films. First, Washington at Detroit, the Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. In the 1st quarter, the beginnings of what looked like an upset. 0-0. The Lions ball. The ball handed off to Horace King, number 25. Going down the right sideline, cutting back there to the middle. Rambling all the way for 52 yards to the Redskins' 15-27. Kenny Houston made the stop. That set up the first of 4 Benny Ricardo field goals. 2nd quarter, Detroit leading 9-0. Kicked by Skladany, blocked by Harris, picked off by Gerard Williams, 45. Touchdown Redskins, Lions leading 9-7. In the 4th quarter, Detroit still holding to a 12-7 lead. Redskins 1st and 10 from the Lions 21. Theismann to the corner of the end zone. Catch by Fugit, touchdown. Abruptly, the Redskins a 14-12 lead. Later in the 4th quarter, 14-12, Washington still. Danielson, Detroit quarterback, back to pass. Watch closely. The target, number 81, David Hill. Spectacular catch. 1st down again. Kenny Houston the stop. Later in the same drive, It was 3rd and 1 at the Redskins 6. Rick Kane, number 32, hit by 53. Tank McClinton bounces off. Touchdown. Detroit ahead, 19-14. But the upset in the making was not to be. 1:31 remaining. And 1st and 10 at the Lions 25. Theismann to John McDaniel, number 86, touchdown. The Redskins won it 21-19. They remain unbeaten at 6-0, but what a scare. That's Jim Zorn, Seattle Seahawks. The Vikings visiting the Key Dome in Seattle. First quarter, 0-0. Seattle 1st and 10, Minnesota 4-4. The versatile southpaw quarterback throws downfield. Sam McCollum, touchdown, 6-0, Seattle. Later in the first quarter, 2nd and 5 from the Vikings 12. Zorn moving right. Sees that opening. Scrambles downward. Good blocking. In for the touchdown, the Seahawks. An upset again in the making. Leading 13-0 over the Vikes. In the third quarter, 19-14, Seattle. Vikings 1st and goal from the 5. That's Robert Miller sweeping right. Touchdown. The Vikes moved ahead 21-19. They upped it to 28-19 in the 4th quarter. But look at Zorn again. Play action. He faked it. He runs right. His 2nd touchdown of the day. Jim Zorn. That made it 28-26, the Vikes. Then, with only 3 seconds left, Efren Herrera. Field goal, 19 yards. And the Seahawks won it by 1. Chicago at Green Bay, Lambeau Field. And third quarter, Green Bay leading 10-0. Bears 1st and 10 from the Green Bay 45. Avellini's pass intended for Latta. Picked off by Steve Luke. And watch Luke go. 63 yards he rolls for the touchdown. And the Pack ahead 17-0. It stayed that way until the 4th quarter. Finally, Bob Avellini, 2nd and 10 from the Pack's 15. Looking for 89, James Scott. Hitting Scott. What a day Scott had. 9 receptions, 113 yards. That made it 17-7. But in that same 4th quarter, David Whitehurst out of Furman. Back to pass. Deep downfield to number 80, the brilliant rookie receiver from Stanford University. Touchdown, the Pack 24-7. There was no quit in Chicago. The Avellini-Scott combination was to work one more time. Chicago 3rd and goal from the Green Bay 17, and there's 89 again. That made it 24-14. That was the final score. The Pack, astonishingly, at 5-1. They are back.
Come to Metropolitan.
On the 1-yard line, Sam Bam Cunningham poured in on a subsequent play. The Pats with a 17-0 lead. Second quarter, the Eagles trying to fight back. Ron Jaworski, the Eagles quarterback, hitting Keith Kreftley. And Kreftley fighting, as you see there, for extra yardage. Part of a drive that was to lead to an Eagles score. It became 3rd and 10 from the Patriots 28. Jaworski looking for his favorite target. And there he is, Harold Carmichael, number 17. That made it catches in 86 straight games. Beaudoin tries to stop Carmichael, fails. Carmichael drives in for the score. The Pats 17, the Eagles 7. Then in the third quarter, with that still the score, 17-7. Steve Grogan, number 14, throwing deep downfield for number 86, Stanley Morgan, who didn't have to break stride. Touchdown. The Pats went on to win it 24-14. Buffalo against the Jets, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. First quarter action, 7-0 the Jets. Joe Ferguson trying to strike back for the Bills. He passes. The ball's picked off by 22, Burgess Owens. Down the left sideline, 40 yards. Touchdown, the Jets, 14-0. Chuck Knox's men came back to a point. It was 14-7. Then this, the handoff to Kevin Long out of South Carolina. One of 3 touchdowns on the day. The Jets 21, the Bills 7. Then the Jets moved it up to 28-7. And then Rusty Jackson with that 42-yard punt to Bruce Harper. And the little speedster, the specialist, shows his broken field running ability. Running left, then through a crowd of Bills and still another crowd of Bills. And now the downfield blocking form waits for a touchdown. So the Jets went on to win 45-14, 45 points, the most scored in the NFL thus far this season. Denver at San Diego. Dan Fouts of the Chargers. And in the second quarter, San Diego leading 7-0. Fouts passes to number 37, Hank Bauer. He runs it on in. San Diego 14, Denver nothing. The Bronx use 3 quarterbacks on the day. Right here, number 12, Craig Penrose. Looking for 25, Haven Moses. Has his pass picked off by number 42, Mike Fuller. And then 14, Norris Weiss looking for number 80, Rick Upchurch. Has that pass picked off by Glenn Edwards. San Diego dominated the game, winning it 23-0. And Don Coryell congratulated by an assistant. And then by the ebullient owner, Gene Klein. Big victory for the Chargers. Houston at Oakland, the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. In the second quarter, Houston with a 3-0 lead, but Oakland threatening. Stabler hands off to Art Whittington, the rookie from SMU. No place to go right. Swing around, go left. Easy touchdown. Oakland ahead, 7-3. But in the third quarter, Houston was leading 10-7. Houston had the ball, 2nd and 8 at the Oakland 17. Dan Pastorini back to pass. Hitting Mike Barber, number 86. Touchdown, Houston 17-7. Oakland closed it to 17-14 in the fourth quarter. It was Oakland then with 1st and 10 from their own 46. Number 12, Ken Stabler. Plenty of time left on the clock. And in situations like this, he so often through the years has gone to old reliable 25, Freddie Biletnikoff. 13 yards and a first down. 1 of 5 passes, good for a first down on this drive. Now Stabler in the same drive, 3rd and goal from the Houston 3. 47 seconds left. Houston throwing to number 87, Dave Casper in the end zone. And Oakland, as you saw it on the reception with the arrow, winning the game 21-17.